Ah, Christ, I can go ahead and see it now. I can see it, I can feel it, I can sense it, I know it's there, because this is what happens with the mediocrity of the McCaskey way and mindset. It permeates through every level of Bears fandom. Oh my God, they won, they're 1-1, that the side defense was dominant in your face, spaghetti, in your face. They're back, baby, the monsters on the midway. And this right here is the nonsensical bullshit that you come to grow and expect to see out of Bears fans year after year. Today's game has absolutely no reason to celebrate. Today's game was almost an embarrassment. Today's game is a perfect example of what the fuck I've been talking about for almost 2 years now. Hashtag fire Matt Nagy. Fire him now. Launch him into the damn sun, into a base of a volcano. I don't care anywhere. Just get him the hell away from Hallis Hall and Soldier Field. Because this game, as much as anything, perhaps even more so than Sunday night, is an indictment on Matt Nagy. Frankly, the Bears are lucky they won this goddamn game. Like when you look at some of the shit that happened, the opening drive, it's the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, he's overcoming his gingivitis, and by God, he's going to get his revenge game the second go-around. Except they got bailed out by a pass interference penalty, put him into position. Allen Robinson, the Bengals, just like they failed to do last week with Adam Thielen because they're morons, said, yeah, we're not going to get any type of jam or press on Allen Robinson. We'll just let him run free on a slant and let him go into the touchdown because it looks so pretty. That's what you're talking about here. The Bengals have the look of a team, of a coaching staff that should be fired. And probably not even waiting till the end of the season for that to occur. I don't give a shit if they beat the Vikings last week. What the hell does that say? Hell, Matt Nagy's owned the Vikings over the past few years. What the hell does that mean? And the Bears are really lucky Bengals didn't score on their first offensive drive. You had Jamar Chase's big drop negated by a stupid-ass taunting penalty on Tayshaun Gibson. Bears fans, oh, I can't believe this is a penalty. It's so soft. I agree. And yet, it's his job to know what the rules of the fucking game are. Stop doing boneheaded, stupid crap. But we know this team is going to several times a game, and that is a damnation and a reflection of the coaching staff. Spearheaded by who? Matt Nagy, of course. Now, you would have expected noontime Nagy to be in rare form. Well, he kindly largely was. Dalton was a whopping 7 of 8 for 41 yards in the first quarter, but yeah, he was playing well. Shut the fuck up! Justin Fields doesn't see the field until the very end of the first quarter. Like, who draws this shit up? A numbskull. Noontime Nagy, of course. And then you've got Andy Dalton trying to do his best Justin Fields impression, and of course he fucking tweaks his leg. And so the Bears fans are going to sit there and say, oh my God, you don't cheer for an injury. You don't want to see somebody go down like that. I'm the same guy that's laughed for 20 years about Psycho Sid breaking his leg, jumping off of the second rope at Sin 2001, trying to connect against all people, Scott Steiner, because Johnny Hayes told him he had to expand his offensive repertoire. Of all goddamn things, Andy Dalton, he tweaks his leg. And there was no contact. Like, that's just a sign from the football gods telling Matt Nagy, stop being a fucking idiot, play Fields. Make Soldier Field the Fields of Dreams. Nobody wants to sit there and see goddamn Dalton. Then, of course, he lets Dalton come back out, and it's clear that Dalton's not right. You know, so it's Fields time. They bring in Fields, and they try to rush for it on fourth down, failed to convert, failing to challenge the questionable spot of the ball on Montgomery's run on third down. Again, noontime Nagy type of shit. Wasting timeouts in the first quarter. Check. Getting play calls in consistently late. Check. Like, if you were playing Nagy Bingo today, you fucking had a blackout on the goddamn card. And then, defensively, the Bears got lucky that Kindle Vildor didn't get flagged for PI or some type of defensive holding or something on that fourth down call, or on that fourth down play. The lucky there, certainly lucky today. Good, I wouldn't call it. Bears were up by a whopping 7-0 at halftime. That's Bears football! Oh, but Dalton was good. Oh, yeah, this defense is really good. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the fact that the Bengals absolutely suck too. But yet, when you come out for the second half, Bengals get the ball. Robert Quinn with the fucking roughing the passer, and I know it was weak sauce shit by Joe Burrow. It doesn't fucking matter. You have to know how they call this shit. Never mind the fact that the Bears earlier on should have been flagged for a roughing the passer on Akeem Hicks, especially with the way the rules interpreted today for roughing the passer. But here, it doesn't matter if he made a little bit of contact, no contact. Burrow's out of bounds. Quinn did it. Like, you got to be smarter than this. But of course the Bears aren't going to be smarter than this on the field because they're run by a damn numbskull on the sidelines. So that Bengals drive leads to a field goal. And you're looking at all this and you say, my God, the Bengals suck. Burrow looks mid as hell. And yet it's only a 7-3 game. At least you're sitting there as a Bears fan and you say, hey, it's Justin Fields show the rest of the way. And I'm excited. And you should be. This is the only thing that matters this year. This is the only thing of consequence. Nothing else. And I want to repeat so clearly and succinctly for those numbskulls who continue to defend this dinosaur-ass dated thinking about, oh, Fields isn't ready to play. Well, when you look at the numbers and you use your fucking eyeballs and your brains, well, then what the hell is Andy Dalton? Sure, Justin Fields is going to make a couple of mistakes. That's what the hell a young quarterback's going to do. Maybe, just maybe, if he would have played more in the fucking first game of the year, starting the first game of the year like the hell I said he should have, he wouldn't have made some of those mistakes today. But you know what he does bring to the table? Some big play dynamics, big game capability, big play capability that Andy Dalton just can't touch, and we all fucking good and well know that. Justin Fields can naturally move as an athlete. Andy Dalton can't finish a run without hurting him goddamn self. And then you look at the noontime Nagy Bingo card. Fields gets a drop from Mooney because of course he fucking would. A false start penalty, and then you've got that almost killer fumble. It's like this team can't fucking help themselves. It's like, hey, these two straight pass plays, even early on in defense of Dalton, you had a couple of pass plays that were successful, and you're like, okay, Dalton's had a couple of good plays here. Then he immediately runs some gimmick bullshit in the first quarter with Damian Williams on some type of end-around bullshit. And how the fuck that work out? They lost like 5 yards. And then, holy hell, Eddie Jackson making a goddamn play. Forcing a fumble on T. Higgins. Like, this is hilarious to me because how could anybody see Matt Nagy and think that this guy knows what he's doing? And how could Matt Nagy look anybody logically in the eyes and say that Andy Dalton gives his team the best chance to win, where after 3 quarters, the score was still 7-3? 7 points in 3 quarters, and oh, guess what? Ding dong, dumb dicks. How many points was that in the third quarter? Another noontime Nagy special. The hell you say? The Bears didn't score any points in the third quarter? That's almost like it's a direct reflection of the lack of ability to make halftime adjustments and come out of the gates ready in the third quarter. That's exactly what I'm saying. But then, Burrow has a bunch of boners, or 2 consecutive boners, I should say. All Proquan with the great play, the fucking pick six, baited Joe Burrow. Burrow never saw him. All of a sudden, bam, it's a 17-3 game, and you're like, okay, this bitch might be over. Then next series for the Bengals, horrible throw by Joe Burrow. No awareness to Jalen Johnson having his eyes in the backfield the entire time. Great play by Jalen, making his first pick in the NFL. Then the next series, they come back, and he gets hit. Then it's another interception. 3 straight throws by Joe Burrow, 3 straight interceptions. I believe they said during the game this is the first time this had happened since Fitzmagic in 2018 against the Steelers. In a game where you're already being caught up in the resplendent glory of Mark Sanchez talking about fumbling. Mark Sanchez, of all people, talking about fumbling. Butt fumble. But here the Bears are. They're up by a ton. All of these turnovers, all these boners, all of these gifts being given to him as much as anything else. And then Allen Robinson dropping the beautiful pass from Justin Fields. That would have been a touchdown. That would have been game over. Failing once again to make the real plays that a real number one wide receiver is supposed to make. How typical. We've grown used to that over the past 3+ years. So it's 20-3 and you're still thinking, okay, this game's over. 6-ish minutes to go. Ain't no fucking way. And then bam, what do you know? Mid-ass Burrow throws this horrendous bomb that has so much air under it, yet fucking Chase can sit there and adjust to it. The Bears secondary nowhere to be found covering or defending. No tackling, of course. And bam, touchdown. All of a sudden it's 20-10. Then, the genius that is Matt Nagy, you get the ball back, it's 3rd and 8. And you're saying, hey, okay, I've got a young quarterback here who I decided I wanted to give him scout team reps instead of reps with the first team in practice and in the preseason. I didn't want to give him a bunch of reps during the Rams game because I'm a fucking moron. So on 3rd and 8, in this spot and situation where he didn't start the game and he barely played in the first quarter, let me put him in a position where instead of utilizing his athleticism and narrowing the field, so you say it's a first read or run option, which would be the smart thing to do, the safe thing to do, especially when you're up 10, 4 minutes or less to go. Got to know your fucking situations. Once again, Matt Nagy doesn't know his goddamn situations, put Fields in a bad spot, and Fields makes a horrible read, a horrible decision, throws the pick, the Bengals pick it off, bring it back to within the 10. Next play, it's another touchdown pass for Joe Burrow. He goes 3 straight passes with a pick, and then 2 straight passes with the touchdown. And all of a sudden you're looking at the 20-17 damn game. Now, thankfully late, Justin Fields made the great scramble on 3rd down, eluding the grasp of Trey Hendrickson, getting the first down. Bears eventually put the game on ice. But this is no reason to celebrate. This defense did not look great, folks. They benefited from a couple of fucking boners, and in the 4th quarter, they gave up 2 touchdowns. That's not good shit, especially against a bad team. You saw 2 bad teams playing today with 2 teams that should have new head coaches in 2022. Some of the big play elements you saw out of this offense at Justin Fields, some of the ability to stretch the field that Andy Dalton clearly does not possess. We have seen this. It adds another layer, makes the Bears defense harder to defend. Sure, Fields is going to make some fucking mistakes. But I'd rather have that with the potential of the big plays that he can make versus Andy Dalton playing it safe and not being able to do any fucking thing. And oh, by the way, he still makes some goddamn mistakes too anyways. And now that you've clearly seen that it's no worse with Fields than it is with Dalton, and in many respects it is better, this is exactly why the hell this team should fire Matt Nagy and fire Matt Nagy right fucking now. Getting so worked up I can't even say this turd Ferguson's name right. Fire Matt Nagy now. They almost lost at home again, because they were 3-5 at home last year against a shitty-ass Bengals team. Sorry, Joe Burrow, everything you saw today, mid-ass quarterback at best, not a franchise guy. If I was the Bengals or Bengals fans, I'd be like, man, I wish I would have taken Justin Herbert number 1 overall. Instead, you took Joe Burrow. You took Noodle Arm Joe. This is what you got. All them weapons, and it doesn't damn matter. But the defense still almost coughed up the game. This team had 7 points through 3 quarters. Now the big decision is going to come, well, do you play Dalton again? There's going to be 2 camps. People with brains that say it will be no worse with Fields and it will be better, so you play Justin Fields. And the Team Nagy dumb dicks that'll sit there and say, oh, I want Dalton to play some more. Fields isn't ready because mediocrity rules. Yeah. Imagine my fucking surprise. A fan base that spent years defending Sexy Rexy, 8 years trying to smoke on the Jay Cutler experience, and the last 4 years defending and excusing so many damn things with Trubisky, all of a sudden now is recognizing real when it comes to real mediocre-ass quarterback play, and that's what makes them comfortable. The fact of having the potential of more is fucking scary, so they don't want that. They don't want to do what forward-thinking modern NFL franchises do. They want to repeat the same idiotic, dumb dick philosophies of the past that have failed time after time after time. That is insanity, folks. Some Bears fans are insane. Matt Nagy is insane for trying to prostitute Andy Dalton as being the best option for this team at quarterback. And all this does now is just muddle up the works. They're 1-1, and it felt like a loser-ass game. It only became interesting at the end because it was a fucking train wreck. Because this Bears organization is run by a train wreck of a head coach. Fire Matt Nagy. Fire him now. We don't need to see 15 more games of this bullshit. We especially don't want to see him have any potential of having his neck saved by fucking Justin Fields. The same kid that he believed in so much that he wouldn't start him week 1 like the hell everybody told him with the brain that he should. And then waited till the damn end of the first quarter to give him any reps at all. That does not deserve rewarding. That deserves unemployment.